So this topic is probably one of my favorite topics, and I don't think it's something that gets spoken about as much as I would like it to. It's a technique that I use that I think everybody needs to use, and I feel that using it is such an amazing tool and has so many benefits, and I just don't know why more people aren't talking about it. I know that it was only recently that more studies have come out about it, so I understand where the hesitancy may come from, but I really hope it gets out there, and I really hope that it becomes a tool that everybody starts using, because it's so easy and you can really feel the benefits of it and the instant relief of it when you use it. And I'm talking about it like a weird big introduction, so I should just sort of talk about it. And what I'm speaking about is the heart-brain coherence. There is an actual method called the through heart math, where they have their own heart-brain coherence technique. It is something that I learnt a while ago, but for me it was like the tipping point to every other tool that I had used or became certified in or actually learnt about. It was the tool that helped it all. It's the tool that holds it all together, and it's just, I don't see, I'm lost for words when I speak about it, because I really feel so passionate about it. And sometimes when you have that passion or that love for something, that's something that I've really noticed, that as I've sort of become this new person, it's, you can't put the feelings into words all the time. As we are souls in human bodies, when we start being able to communicate with our soul more and speak more from our soul, we get all these feelings that we just don't seem to have the words for. So I notice even now sometimes when I speak that I can't articulate exactly what I'm feeling with my heart or feeling inside, because I just don't have the words for it. So I am going to try and talk about this as best as I can, but the best way for you to sort of understand what I'm talking about is to actually start using this technique and sort of see how it feels and sort of how it works for you. And it's so simple and so basic. Honestly, to me, it's easier than learning all those different types of breathing techniques. And I do think breathing is important, and there are so many different breathing techniques that we can use. And I think different breathing techniques sort of, it depends on what you're aiming towards and sort of what your mood's in and what feels good for you type thing, and trying some out, seeing which ones work for you. But I also don't like having those rules around doing something that I'm trying to better myself with. So if someone tells me, no, okay, we're going to do breathing and it has to be the 6, 7, 8 method, so you need to breathe in for 6 and hold for 7 and breathe out for 8. It's like, in the beginning, sure, I was listening because I wanted to learn and I wanted to get the maximum effect from everything that I was learning. But now, because I'm more in tune with my own self and I can listen to my own advice and I can draw information from my higher self, I don't need people to tell me how to do things. I can now sort of do things intuitively that come from within and from my own experience, and I can find things that work for me, and I don't need to listen to those rules and those regulations around a lot of those other things that a lot of people talk about. And I will put that caveat on everything that I'm teaching you in here, as well as that these are just tools. They're all tools. And one thing I have found, that there are so many tools, so different people are going to resonate with different tools. We're all probably going towards the same end goal. We all want to have a better life. We all want to feel happy every day. We want to jump out of bed. We all want more money. We want better relationships. We want to look better. We want to feel better. We want to help others. So we're all aiming towards that end goal, whilst we may all do it in different ways or different your pathways. We could diverse everywhere, all up different pathways. I know I have, and I'm sure many others have as well. It's getting to that end point, and we're all aiming towards there. But all these tools, techniques, people, programs, physical tools that you can use, they're all just there so that something will resonate with someone. And even the whole fact of you connecting, how I see it, connecting with your own soul. Someone else may see that as connecting to your own God, connecting to source, connecting to your first point of existence or something. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's just that intention and that goal. And I think we all have that same thing. We all want that. And sometimes we can't always see what that end goal is, but we know that we want something different. We want something better. So everything that I talk about, just take it on board. You don't even have to try it. And if you start with that energy or truth testing, that's going to be your key to it all, is understanding what your body wants, what your soul, whatever it is for you, what is working. You need to ask yourself, is this for me? And you need to listen to those yes or no answers and see, what is right for you. Just remember too that sometimes if you get a yes for something right now, it may change down the track. So always be flexible and always check in. But to me, that's like, if I could only teach two things to people, the first thing is to learn how to truth test, learn how to use the energy in your own body to get your own yes or no's. And the other thing is to learn how to do this, how to do the heart-brain coherence, which is basically, in the most simplest form, you breathing, but breathing into your heart. So I am going to talk about what the technique is, and it is literally that. It is so simple, it's not funny. And I'm not going to attach it to numbers or strengths or how long you need to do it for. It is simply having a deep breath. I do believe that deep breaths are important, and they are calming and they are centering. But when you are breathing in, and for myself, I like to breathe in through my nose. I'm not a mouth breather innerer. Some people may be, but for me, breathing in, I breathe in through my nose and I breathe out through my mouth when I'm doing intentional breath work. Of course, you do whatever feels comfortable for you. So for me, having a deep breath, to me, a deep breath is, you need to practice and try and see what feels comfortable for you. So if your deep breath is, you can feel it. If you take a breath and sort of see, okay, where's that breath going into? So if you went, and you could feel it maybe sitting somewhere on your chest, and you go, okay, well, maybe I can go deeper. Well, I think that got to the bottom of my rib cage. Okay, let's try again. Oh, that one, I can feel that in my stomach. I can feel my stomach expand, and then try again, and you can sort of feel that breath come all the way down, sort of maybe down to your whole sort of pelvic area. Or you could have a deep breath where you feel like you're breathing that air in through your whole body. Practice with some of those and see what feels comfortable. But for this technique, we are breathing into our heart. So for me, it was hard for me to take a breath in and say, okay, I'm breathing into my heart. So what I did, and you can do this as well, especially if you're starting out or if you find it difficult like I did, it's put some hand or something where your heart would be. So, in between your chest there. I like to use like one hand and just use a couple of fingers type thing, so it's pointing in. You could use a prayer pose. You could use your hand on your chest flat. You could use two hands. You can do whatever you want, whatever it is to help you bring that intention to that actual spot. So for me, having those fingers sitting there, it's laser pointed into that area, and I'm telling my brain, okay, we're going to breathe into our heart now. So when I'm breathing in through my nose, I'm breathing into that heart area. And you can try that. Just take some deep breaths into your heart, and you'll start to feel it the more you do it, and try and slow it down. So, whatever your normal breath pace is, slow it down a bit. And I'm not going to give you numbers or how slow it needs to be, or you just find what is right for you. But you will start to get into this nice, slow calm rhythm as you start sort of breathing into your heart. And if you use that intention that you are breathing into your heart, you will feel that your breath is going into that heart area and coming back out. And you can breathe out through your mouth, out through your nose, whatever is good for you. And the whole purpose of doing this is, the recent studies were found that the heart is actually the brain of your body. And the heart actually sends more electrical and chemical impulses from the heart to the brain than the brain does to the heart, which is quite fascinating. So doing this sort of technique, you are literally telling that main organ in your body that everything is calm, everything is nice and flowy, and your whole body will start to regulate. So the heart will start sending signals to the brain saying, hey, everything's cool. Instead, like, especially if you're one of those people who, you could be an anxious person, or you could be someone who's always sort of a little bit stressed out or sitting in that, fight or flight mode. If you can slow that breath and that heart down together, and you've got that good little consistent rhythm going, your heart's just like, yep, this is great. It tells the brain, yep, everything's cool. And then as you're doing that, all those little messages are then going around through your body saying, hey guys, no need to be on alert, just relax, take it easy. It's like telling your workmates to go on smoko. All those little parts and things that work in your body get to relax. And that's where the key is for our body, because when we're in those angry or anxious states and we're always sitting there waiting for something bad to happen, or stressing out about a situation that we don't like, or whinging about something that's not going our way, we're putting our body in that fight or flight mode. It's sitting there, it's ready, it's waiting, because it knows something's coming and I need to be ready for it. I need to fight with my words, or I need to get worked up, or I need to yell at someone, or I need to be mean, or I need to get sad, or I need to cry or yell, or whatever it is. The body is always sitting there waiting for something like that to happen. So it's not getting that chance to rest. And when you stay in those high stress situations of, constant fear, stress or anxiety, that strain on your body is what can actually cause illnesses and things to not be working in your body. It can start to manifest in rashes or weird illnesses, or, there's so many different things where your body can react, and obviously everyone will be different. But I don't know about you, but I had a lot of times where I would have a lot of weird illnesses and things like that, where, I would have this weird symptom with this other weird symptom, and you'd go to the doctor, and there are even times I had to go in an ambulance because, I thought I was having a heart attack, or, but it was coupled with something else which didn't make sense. And every single time I went to the doctor or the ambulance, it was the same thing. I don't know what's going on, but all it is, it's all those organs or whatever functions of your body just going, oh, too stressed, and they don't know how to do their job properly, so they're reacting and manifesting in whatever way is not their normal way of being. So that's the same if you get illnesses, or intolerances to food, or when muscles start to hurt, or you get weird pains in weird places. That is all manifestation of that fight or flight response that your body's been sitting in for so long. So using this heart-brain coherence technique is going to slow it all down. It's giving your body that permission to stop, rest, take a moment. And once you get into that relaxed state, and you can feel your brain relax, and you can feel your body start to let go a little bit, start bringing in that feeling of gratitude or appreciation. And sometimes if you're just starting out, it could be really difficult to try and find an emotion like that. So think of something or a situation or a place or something just gives you the warm and fuzzies. It could be, if you're a parent, it could be when you first had your child, if that was a beautiful moment for you. Or if you're in a relationship, it could be the first time, you as a couple did something. Or, it could be an accomplishment in your life, whether it was, work or personal related, or everyone should be able to find a moment in their life that they're grateful or appreciative of, that they can go to and try and recall that feeling they were having when they were in that moment, and feel that warm, flowy feeling that they feel in their heart. So feel that into your heart when you're doing that breathing, and then try and spread that feeling a little bit further. So just say, for instance, you are thinking about your child or something. You're thinking about a moment that made you feel, so grateful for being a parent, or so lucky for being able to be a parent to this child and have this moment with them. And you're thinking about it, and you can feel that love in your heart, and you can feel it sort of spread throughout your body. And you can feel that, I'm going to call it the warm and fuzzies, because I don't know if there is actual words to describe it, but it's that beautiful, warm, flowy feeling. And if you keep thinking about it, and you keep those slow, regular breaths into your heart, you'll start to feel that feeling sort of, spread throughout your whole body. And what I like to do with that is, as well as, I will try and bring that feeling out. So it's not just for me, it's not just in my body. I will bring it out into my auric field, and I will bring it out into my house, or my suburb, my state, my country, and I will eventually try and push that feeling out across the whole universe. So every time I'm doing that heart breathing, I will get that feeling that I'm having and spread that out into the whole universe as well, so that we are raising that vibration on a collective level, and hopefully other people who are open to receiving are going to receive some of that love that we're sending out. And then once I've done that, I will also then sort of bring it back to what feels comfortable for me. So it depends on the day and my mood and what I'm doing, but I will sort of bring that down and sort of into like a field around me that sort of feels safe, so that if anyone sort of comes into my field, into my auric field, they are going to feel that, that loving energy that I have sort of placed around me. And having that loving energy too is going to block any of those negative energies, or energies that we really don't want to take on board for ourselves, because we're just going to smother it all in our juicy little warm and fuzzies. But whilst you're also in that state, you can try and breathe in new thoughts or feelings or attitudes. So if you decided that you just wanted to do this heart breathing, I don't know, say you were having a bad day and you're feeling stressed out or something, so you thought, okay, I'm going to try this technique. And so you start doing this heart brain technique, and then you start feeling the warm and fuzzies. Then start thinking about a positive affirmation, or something that is a new attitude or a new feeling that you really want to embody. So if you're feeling stressed or frustrated or something like that, start thinking about feeling happy and content, or really excited about what's happening tomorrow, or looking at all those goals you will accomplish when you wake up, or something else, something that's different, something that's positive, something that feels good for you, and breathe into that. So you can breathe in that affirmation or that feeling into your heart while you are in that actual state of feeling that love and the warm and fuzzies. And I wish there was another word for the warm and fuzzies, because it doesn't sound very good. When you are also in this state, you can ask your heart to answer questions. So while I was talking about that energy or truth testing earlier, you can also use it with your heart. So when you are in this state of feeling fully connected and feeling that love and appreciation all around you, you can ask yourself a question. So I don't know, it can be any question, I suppose. So if it was, should I accept this job offer or something, just sit with it while you're in that state and see what response you get. I can't tell you how you will receive that response, whether it could be an image or a thought or a feeling, or suddenly an idea will pop into your head. Just sit in that question for a little while, depending on how long you can hold it. I know that with me, some of my concentration is not very long, and sometimes I can't hold on to that moment for a while, because my mind will just go off on a tangent somewhere and I'll think about a job I have to do or something else I have to do, and I will lose it. But if you can sit in there for a little while and just allow it and just let that question sort of sit there and see if you can see what response comes back or what answer you get, because your heart will give you an answer. And, you know, whether it's coming from your heart or your higher self or your God or whatever, it's when you take those moments to slow it all down and chance to breathe. Give yourself that chance to just take a moment and relax and give you information that you are ready to receive. It's in those quiet moments that we hear the answers, and we do, unfortunately, at the moment, have become these people who have these lives that are so busy that we don't have the time to sit here and sit in those breathing techniques, or even if you're using the meditation, visualizations, hypnosis, just sitting in silence, doing yoga, whatever it is for you, not everyone gets to have that time doing that. And we place our onus on the busyness of doing our work and doing our jobs and going to all these social events, looking after kids and looking after our family and doing all these things that we have to do as a priority, instead of prioritizing our actual own wellness and happiness. And I think that's where we've got a real disconnect. I think this should be more important than, you know, getting up and going to, you know, help your brother move or something, or that was probably a terrible suggestion, but all those things that we think that we have to do, even though we may not want to do, we could be better off spending our time taking moments like these for us. Because when we do take these moments where we can sort of sit in that quietness and we can ask those questions, we're going to be more relaxed. We're going to be able to handle more situations and all the life stuff that happens around us in a lot better way, because we're not in that stress state. We're not in that fight or flight. We are literally in a more sort of centered and content type space, so that the things that would normally challenge us or get us upset are going to feel a lot easier, and we're going to be a lot more able to handle anything that comes up. So even if you don't do any other technique in this basic section, do this one. And there's no rules to it. There's no time limit on it. And even if you can only find a few minutes a day to do it, even if you do it more than once a day, even if you can sit down and do it for an hour or 1 minute, whatever it is, it's going to make that difference. You can even do it while you're driving. You can do it while you're sitting on the toilet. You could do it just before you go to bed. There's lots of opportunities for you to put a couple of minutes aside for you to do this, because I think the reward on the other side of this is going to be something that you won't believe unless you keep doing it. So I challenge you to try it. Just try it. And, you know, if you've never done this type of thing, or you've never done any sort of breathing or meditating or anything like that, it may seem a little bit weird or uncomfortable or different, but you're not going to know unless you try. You think about all the things that you can do now, regardless of what they are. You were at a point at some time in your life where you didn't know how to do those things, so you had to learn how to do those things. And I'm sure a lot of things that you can do now are a lot more difficult than learning how to breathe into your heart. So give it a go. It's going to do nothing but make you feel better. And if you are finding it difficult, or you are not quite understanding what I'm saying, let me know. I am happy to guide you through it as best as I can, because I think everybody needs to do this, and there's no reason why we can't, unless you of course have, I don't know, some sort of lung problem where you can't breathe into things. But everybody breathes, right? So everybody should be able to breathe into their heart. So give it a go. And even if you want some feedback, if you got any downloads or things like that, let me know, because I would love to hear it. But even challenge yourself. Like, okay, today I'm going to do this for 3 minutes. Just do that. Do it for a week. Do it for 21 days. Do it for a month, and tell me how you were feeling afterwards. Tell me if you received any information, or if anything changed, or if you were calmer in situations, or if you were able to handle something that popped up that would normally challenge you or make you upset or angry or stressful or something, that this has somehow helped you. I would love to hear from it. So good luck with it. I've also got a list, a little sheet in here on how to do this technique as well to help you. If you do need any help, let me know. And good luck. Happy breathing.